everyone, and good afternoon. We're here live for ESN. We're live at ESN for the AWSCO Snapdragon Continental Series. It's the final race of the second round of the playoffs at the here for the Old Dominion 250 as the Continental Series field takes on the paperclip Martinsville Speedway, the very small half a mile short track, one of the classic venues here of stock car racing, been around for decades upon decades now, since the 1940s, of course. It's one of the great historical venues. Once again, one of the great historical venues of stock car racing, and things are going to be fairly tense here for this race, as both series are going to be taking on an elimination race at this track. We've seen this plenty of times before when NASCAR rolls up to NASCAR rolls up to Martinsville Speedway for their playoff elimination races. Things tend to be quite dramatic, and lots of chaos can occur in those races, and we're expecting lots of the same to happen here this weekend in both AWSCO series. And welcome to the FanDuel Fan Studio. I am Rasha, and joined here today with Liam once again in the pre-race, as we bring you the pre-race show here. Lots to talk about, of course, at Martinsville here. With how close the standings are, things are going to be very tight between all these drivers. Just 40 points separating the entire playoff field. So the entire shape of the playoff dynamic is up for grabs here in this race. So while some drivers feel safer than others, there truly is no safe place here at heading into Martinsville for any of these playoff drivers. And how do you think that's going to affect the way these drivers take on this race?
Well, I mean, there's two things that are guaranteed at Martinsville Speedway. Those are hot dogs and hot tempers. I mean, you put a short track this close, this flat, this high intensity as an elimination race, you're bound to get people running into each other a bit more often than you do at any other racetrack. This track is a classic on the NASCAR schedule. Plenty of insane finishes. You think back to Kevin Harvick getting eliminated from the 2020 playoffs after wrecking himself on the final lap. Ross Chastain's wall ride. Matt Kenseth versus Joey Logano. There's plenty of playoff moments here at Martinsville in the past few years on the NASCAR side of things. AWSCO looking to make that happen as well. Obviously a bit earlier in the playoffs compared to when NASCAR has it.
Is not one round earlier.
But I mean, you just look at the playoff grid. It's 40 points separating everybody. Nobody's in, nobody's out. It's going to be absolutely insane. All these drivers messing around for positions. Drivers who aren't in the playoffs looking to give themselves a better chance at having a seat next season, obviously with all these contract changes that have been happening in the past few weeks. Drivers who had a bad run at Talladega, then that early wreck at the beginning of the race, going to try and regroup, get back on track, because this is going to be an important race to finish well in.
Yeah, and as we look at the racetrack, known as the paperclip, there's not much to talk about really, other than long straightaways and tight corners. That's the way it goes here at Martinsville. You basically you full throttle your way out of your corners and then brake about 10 seconds later. That's the name of the game here. And so of course, car handling is going to be a very important part of this race. It's all going to be about handling and managing your tires in that kind of first bit of the race. But as you said, as the race goes on, the tempers are going to flare up, and you're going to see more and more of these drivers using their bumpers and trying to shove people out of the way. And given how close everyone is in the playoff standings, that's going to be more likely than not to happen, I think. But obviously, but of course, on top of that, with the way we've seen some of these short track races go in the AWSCO Continental Series, I would expect some kind of major event to happen at the start of the race as well. With all these drivers starting 2 by 2 across the field, that tends to cause some problems for some of these drivers early on, and especially for some of these playoff drivers starting out back, that might cause issues. because there's not as many drivers starting at the back this time around as you'd see in many other Continental races. Only a few cars, playoff cars, taking provisionals, but there's still a few there, and enough of them to cause problems, I think.
Yeah, and Rasha, you talked about the handling at this racetrack being super important. I've run Martinsville a few times in the sim, and it is quite the track to get a handle on. I mean, you got to really hit that braking zone perfectly so that you can get down and run the curbs on the inside of the racetrack. You run too high, you're at risk of hitting the wall coming out of the corner. You run too low, you're at risk of losing grip on the curbs. I mean, you really need to nail corner entry on this track to get the best time out of it, because fractions of a second at a track this short is a lot of time and a lot of space that you're losing.
Yeah, margins are thin at this track, and more than any other track, this is the home of the freight train. If you're struggling to maintain that bottom line out there, you're gonna find yourself dropping positions quite a bit. And that's the thing with these double file restarts, is that of course half the field is gonna be stuck on that outside line to start the race, and they're all gonna be wanting to find their way to the inside as quickly as possible. And with 19 drivers all looking to trying to shuffle their way to the inside, that might cause some issues. And you mentioned qualifying, of course, being as close as ever. Yeah, you do have. This is you have the case where half a second basically covers all of the playoff, all of the drivers in this series that attempted a qualifying run for this race. So that's the kind of margins we're working with here.
Yeah, I mean, freight trains aren't just a trademark of this track outside on the railroad that goes along the backstretch. It's a staple of this track on the outside lane, this racetrack, when you don't have any way to get to the inside. I mean, this is one of those racetracks where it's going to really come down to which driver is technically the best at short tracks. We had a lot of other short tracks with wider corners, more banking, a lot of room to move around. Gives you a bit of freedom. The only real leeway you have at Martinsville compared to tracks like Bristol, Irwindale, and some of the other tracks that we've run this season is that damage isn't going to aerodynamic damage isn't going to play as much of a factor, because downforce isn't going to play as much of a factor at this racetrack.
Yeah, and interesting you bring up Irwindale. That's actually one of the tracks in this series that we've run this season so far where aerodynamic damage wasn't a concern at all. We saw plenty of competitive cars running about with limited front and rear ends at that race, and I think that's going to be another thing to worry. That's going to be another thing to pay attention to in this race, is that cars are going to be rolling around without front or rear bumpers, possibly both the front and rear bumper missing, and it's not exactly the end of the world for any of those drivers. They're all going to be. There's a good chance they're all going to be fairly competitive, as long as it, at least for a good chunk of the race. We've seen cars with no front end. We've seen cars without front bumpers lead races here in the Continental Series on these short tracks. So that's another thing we might be up for in this race. As we move on now to look at our starting lineup, it is a playoff driver, Katrin Edelstein, and the number 14 Heath Clarkson Mercedes, starting up on the pole. She is above the cut line, one of the drivers in the best positions to start this race, plus 21, up on the cut line, looking decent here with a good start. And obviously with that starting on the inside line is always going to be an advantage at Martinsville. So as long as she keeps it clean in this first third of the race, doesn't do anything doesn't get not trapped up into any incidents, she can at least manage her way around for the first little bit of the race. And if you can avoid what might be the most dangerous part of the race, which is that kind of initial start, that's probably going to be a long way towards securing a place into the next round. Looking at the rest of the top 10, we have Isabella Fitzmaurice in number 38, starting alongside in row 1. In row 2, we have Maya Shelby and Laura Sundale. It's another playoff driver, just 2 points above the cut line there, and starting on the outside. Lots of our playoff drivers in the top 10 are actually starting on the outside. Row 3, you have Mayumi Moriyama and Brenda Davis, who just won recently at Talladega. Row 4, Alice Hageman and Rachel Ramos in the 2. Also another playoff car, also only 7 points up, one position above Laura Sundale in the 40. And on row 5, you have Michaela Kirkland and Izzy Oberman in the number 93. She's 17 points up. One of the drivers looking better points-wise at the start of this race. Rounding out your top 10. And then in 11th spot, Deborah Williams, your points leader, 30 points above the cut line. Starting on the inside of row 6 there, as the rest of the, as you can see, the rest of your playoff, we'll discuss the rest of the grid shortly. Anybody catching your eye from the rest of the field here, Liam?
I mean, right away, anyone who's starting up front's going to start with an advantage, as I'm just going to go take a look at who's won at the short tracks previously this season. And, I mean, right away, it's the 14, Katrin Edelstein. She starts on pole. She starts in the inside lane. She's 21 points above the cut line. A decent performance today, even if it isn't a win, is going to lock her into the next round of the playoffs. But a win is obviously what everyone is shooting for. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that 14 car in victory lane at the end of the day. Looking back to some of the other races,
I think one driver I'm looking at who's kind of starting right outside the top 10, Sandy Martel in the 51. She's already won at a short track this season. She won at Evergreen. She ran really well at North Wilkesboro, finished second in that race to Jackie Kennedy, and finished second in Memphis to Kathy Ableton Perez. The North Star cars tend to be very good on these short tracks, and that's going to be crucial for them because three of their 4 cars are starting this race below the cut line. Martel, Ableton Perez, and Davenport all have won, I think, tracks under a mile long. Yes, Davenport has also won at IRP, so that's and Rachel Ramos has won at Phoenix too. So this team definitely, that team right there, North Star Motorsports, definitely do have a bit of a penchant for running well at these shorter tracks. Flat tracks seem to be their their specialty right now.
I was going to say, looking at other short track winners, starting on the outside of row 2 is Laura Sundale. She won at Nazareth at the beginning of the season. That locked her into the playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised to see her running well today. Other drivers, I mean, Robin Morales, we've talked about her short track prowess when it came to the first round of the playoffs and how that helped her carry through.
Yeah,
she finished second at Irwin. She finished second at Irwindale.
Top 10 at Delaware and Evergreen as well. So definitely
a win at Milwaukee as well. So
yep.
plenty of short track experience for her. But she starts deeper in the field and is going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, definitely something to look at. Other drivers, let's see here. Looking around the rest of the field. Any other drivers? Cassidy Jones, perhaps, with that win at Echo in Surrey at Echo Energy International Speedway. That's another driver to look at. Maybe it's another driver with a win at a track.
I was going to say, looking at non-playoff drivers, the outside of row 1 there, Isabella Fitzmaurice has been fast all weekend. She was, I believe, fastest in her practice group. She came second in qualifying, so that 38 car is quick, but I believe there were engine troubles in practice for that team, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them in the main event here.
Yeah, and looking at some of the playoff drivers starting out back, I mentioned Cassidy Jones there. Lynn Oswald, who starts last of the playoff drivers and 37th, also has a win at a track under a mile long. She won at Iowa to lock her spot up in the playoffs. A bit more of a super speedway contender lately. Finished second in both Pensacola and Talladega, but also does have her fair share of good results at short and flat tracks. Finished 8th at both Milwaukee and New Hampshire, both flat mile ovals. So I believe I'm looking at that right. Am I looking at that right? Or am I looking at that one wrong? Oh no, that's Vinny Schultz actually. Vinny Schultz is the one I'm talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. But point stands in that case because Vinny Schultz actually was also starting kind of a little bit further back in the outside of row 13 in 26th place, right near Robin Morales. They're both kind of similar in terms of their profile this season, in terms where they've had good success in these flatter, shorter tracks, and also is often pretty good at. Whereas Vinny's more of an all-rounder, but both are kind of starting a little bit deeper in the field, but have good results here at these tracks. And of course, looking at some other wild cards, Latanya Gray in the 65 is always the wild card. Often good at these short tracks, but also fairly volatile. She did finish 7th at Oswego earlier and 6th at IRP, so does have a knack for getting top 10s at these tracks. We'll see if she can get a win here. But she is only 10 points back, so a win isn't necessarily needed here. Good run by any of these drivers below the cut line, I think, would be enough, given how many cars are in that zone. Over half the playoff field within 20 points of each other. And
I did want to bring up one more of the playoff drivers. Izzy Oberman, she starts on the outside of row 5. Obviously, the outside lane, not exactly the best place to be at this track, especially a few rows back. She's got multiple wins this season, most of them coming at bigger tracks, though. California, I believe she won at Kansas. Short tracks haven't really been her strong suit.
But she did win at South Boston. She did win at South Boston.
She does have a short track win, but most of the other tracks she's been good at this season have been larger tracks.
Well, I was going to say, and also she won the second race of the season, which was at Nashville Super Speedway. So definitely has a knack for winning at the right time, I think, Izzy Oberman. That's the thing.
Yeah, at the right time, but she's going to need to lock in and get
she's going to need a good run.
She's going to need a South Boston-esque performance tonight to really keep herself in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, and speaking of that kind of winning at the right time, Kathy Ableton Perez starting 2 rows behind her as another driver that everyone should watch, because that's another driver who has that ability to lock in and deliver a good result at the right time. And Ableton Perez only 2 points below the cut line. A win would be great, but I think a top 10 result would be more than enough for that 25 team to take their place in the next round of the playoffs. Any final thoughts on the field, Liam, before we hand things over to the booth now?
I mean, not really any final thoughts. More of just your key to the race here, and that's going to be to stay aggressive, but don't get aggressive too early, because that will take you out of the race. And other than that, just make sure to hit your marks, nail it, and try and stay on the inside of this racetrack. Yeah,
I think patience is going to be a virtue for at least the first half of the race. You want to be aggressive. You want to be you want to take the initiative, but you also don't want to become a meme. That's another thing that's important. If you're too aggressive, you might become a point of infamy more than anything else, as we've seen plenty of times as well at Martinsville Speedway. And with that, we'll take things. Well, that'll do it for our pre-race show. It'll be Echo and Data Dragon in the booth calling the race here today. Hope you enjoy the race. It's gonna be definitely a dramatic one. Most in all likelihood, lots to be determined here as the AWSCO Continental Series field takes on the Martinsville Speedway, the Old Dominion 250 elimination race for the final round of the final race in the second round of the playoffs.
And welcome to Martinsville Speedway in Southern Virginia, very Southern Virginia, for the 36th race of the season. 4 to go after this one, and this is the last race of the second round of the playoffs. It's the Old Dominion 250 here from Martinsville. I'm joined in the booth by Data Dragon, who is well, you've been here mostly for super speedways this year, but you also did show up at Phoenix. This is a different track than we've been seeing, for you at least. This is going to be a very crucial race. How is it going to affect everybody else here? And what do you think are going to be the biggest things here if you're one of those playoff drivers that's on that cut line?
Well, it's funny. The track may be smaller, but it's going to be very similar. Bumper to bumper traffic. You saw it at the super speedways. But aggression. This race might go by fast, or we might be in for a very long night if it's caution after caution.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very, very difficult track for these drivers to get the handle on. And it's going to be very fun watching them try to navigate through everything here. There's a lot of traffic. You just got to maneuver everything very cleanly. All right, let's go through our starting grid. Row 1, Katrin Edelstein starts on the pole. She comes in 21 points to the good on that playoff cut line. She just needs a solid day. Outside of her is Isabella Fitzmaurice. Row 2, Maya Shelby in the 5 is alongside. Laura Sundale in the 40 comes in 2 points up on the cut line. She needs a good run. Row 3, the 64, Mayumi Moriyama, and the 88, Brenna Davis, last week's winner in Talladega. Row 4 is the 81 of Alice Hageman, and the 2, Rachel Ramos, who comes in 7 points above the cut line. Row 5 is the 54, Michaela Kirkland, the 93 of Izzy Oberman, who's 17 points up on the cut line. Row 6, the 55, Deborah Williams, who is 30 points up on the cut line. And returning this week, Lori Ramirez, who sat out the last 5 races after an injury she suffered at Pensacola. She's back for the short tracks for the remainder of the season. Row 7, the 12 of Jackie Kennedy, and the 25, Kathy Ableton Perez. Ableton Perez enters 2 points back. Row 8, the 51, Sandy Martel, enters 1 point behind the cut line, alongside the 45 of Liz Roberts. Row 9, the 22, Naomi Davenport, enters 5 back to the cut line, and the 6 of Mila Cheshina. Row 10, the 0 of Hieta Yoko, and the 24, Ashley Johnson. And row 11 is the 42, Freya von Lundquist, who enters 13 above the cut line, and the 78, Lexi Rockwood. Row 12, the 84, Tammy Bird, and the 15, Isabella Smith. Row 13 is the 60 of Jennifer Wilson, and the 62, Vinnie Schultz, who enters 12 above the cut line. Row 14, the 26, Robin Morales, enters just 1 point up on the cut line, alongside the 7 of Faye Zanda. Row 15, the 16 of Leah Azelhard, and the 77 of Rose Lockport. In row 16, the 44, Lulu Kani, and the 4, Cassidy Jones, who enters 12 points up on the cut line. Row 17 is the 66 of Ani Starchev, entering 4 points back, and the 65, Latanya Gray, entering 10 points back. Row 18, the 96, Lynn Oswell, who's 10 points to the good right now, and the 10 of Charlie McCarran. In row 19, the 46, Bridget Brousseau, and the 95 of Cara Reynolds. Short tracks, there will be short tempers tonight as well. How will this affect, if you're in that playoff race, how do you think this is going to affect you? And if you're not in that playoff race, well, how are you going to take it here knowing that there's a playoff battle going on right alongside you trying to win the race? Hello?
What?
Oh, I just said, if you're one of those,
My bad.
if you're one of, nah, it's good. If you're one of those playoff cars, if you're one of those playoff drivers who is in the mix of the playoff battle, how do you take running through all this traffic with all these other cars? And if you're not one of those playoff cars, how do you adjust to racing around the playoff
where you are
battle?
in the field. It all depends where you are in the field and who's leading the race, because you'll catch the tail end here decently quick.
Absolutely. We're going to see a lot of cars. We're probably going to see a lot of cars fall a lap down in this one. There's going to be lap traffic that will affect how this race goes, especially if we go green for a long time, which is something I wouldn't be too shocked if we saw.
That would be, and remind me that 2 laps that you will lose on pit road if we go that far.
Yeah, if we go that far, which, again, the tires wear very quickly here. Only about an 70 to 80 lap window in terms of the tire wear.
Yeah.
But the fuel can last you about 150 laps, so we could see all sorts of strategies. All right, pace car is off.
Yeah.
Edelstein and Fitzmaurice. Never mind. Pace car is not away. I have to reset real quick.
Drivers, start.
Let's try it again and watch the pace car. Yeet. Yeah, I just saw the pace car go.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Picks up to speed very quickly. All right, Edelstein and
Hopefully it didn't
Fitzmaurice.
speed I'm sorry to make this joke, but hopefully it didn't speed coming down pit road.
Edelstein and Fitzmaurice will lead them to the green flag. Here we go. Green flag is out of Martinsville.
Great start by the 14.
Great job to get jumped down. 5 cars going to get to try and take second now. Again.
Three. Oof.
Oh, they are 3. There's a car on the wall. 93. Oberman. Again, you got to keep it down on the bottom lane, because if you don't, that opens the door for whoever's behind you to try and make a move. The exit of turn 2 is going to be a trouble spot. It's just hard to get that grip on exit of these corners.
By the way, stream is a little blurry.
Give me 1 second. I think my internet's just being a bit weird.
Yeah.
Can't really do much. It'll be fine.
It'll fluctuate probably. I'll do my best to see what I can see. Yeah.
Michaela Kirkland to the inside of
Oh, another car
Memorial.
on the wall. I saw another car out back.
Yeah, they're going to get on the wall a fair bit here. So far, though, we're fairly clean through the first few laps.
It's when someone attempts 3 wide, I think, is when we'll have an issue.
Yeah, especially with how narrow this track is, you don't want to be going 3 wide really at all. With how narrow this track is, it's very hard to get 3 wide set up to where it works well, especially early in the race. How about Naomi Davenport? She needs a good run right now. She's managing to get up into the top 10 already. There's 22 cars up here. You see the 0 battling the 51. Sandy Martell and Hieta Yoko. There's the 42 of Freya von Lundquist. Von Lundquist has been probably the best points racer we've seen. She won early in the season at Daytona. That's her only win so far. She literally won the very first race of the season. She's been one of the top drivers points racing all year. She has a reputation for it in other places too, I think.
Oh, 42 on the 0.
Katrin Edelstein leads, but she's not really getting away from the 5 car. If you're Maya Sheldeby, Maya Sheldeby is one of those drivers who came in as a road ringer. This is probably the most similar track we're going to run to a road course all season in the Continental Series.
Car slow.
That's the 78 of Lexi Rockwood, and I believe the 15 of Isabella Smith as well. Rockwood might have gotten spun or something.
Spin?
It maybe.
Yeah, but how?
Any damage to that 78? I don't see it. There's tire marks.
Yeah.
Might have just been a slow spin
There was
off
a spin.
the off turn number 4 there. But again, back to my point, Maya Sheldeby, she's one of those road ringers. This is going to be the most similar track they'll run to a road course all year in the Continental Series because we don't run road courses. You think that Sheldeby's going to take some of that experience into play here?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And this is weird to say, Martinsville, we've got really spread out. As much as we could.
We've gotten fairly spread out, but I
Our
don't think...
passing is just that this is the most spread out. And we're only 11 laps in. Is that worrisome?
I don't think so. Because again, you can make up time here pretty quickly. You can make up spots in time here. 5 car.
Which means also the leader will catch the tail end a bit faster.
Well, the leader's definitely going to catch the 78. Oh, we got a spin. Ableton Perez. That's a playoff car. Yellow flag is out. And we have our first caution of the race.
Here?
Well, we'll see. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we see cars pit, but I don't think we will. 64 is taking a chance down pit road here. Okay, and a bunch of these other cars are in weird spots. I don't know what the 46 is doing. Looks like a lot of the cars at the back of the field are coming in here.
Or they're angry at people.
Could be. First of all, let's see what happened to the 78. Okay, she's off the pace right here.
Yep, she got spun.
She just got ran into by the 15 here. Oh, it's just a bit of a 3-wide squeeze there. 15 had to get up off the throttle there, and that's what brought that out.
3 wide.
That's not where the 25. This is where the 20. Okay, it was the next lap.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is what I talk about when it's 3 wide. They tend to kind of stack up like that, and it gets really messy. Vinny Schultz and
That was a
Latanya
very
Gray.
fast spin.
The 62 and the 65 got some damage in that too. Those are 2 playoff drivers. .44 is still on pit road.
Yeah. What?
16 just barely made it out of pit road. I don't think the 44 did.
Yeah. I was wondering, did they work on the 44 a little too long? What the?
This
That
happens
is
here.
some weird checking out.
This just
That's
happens
weird.
here. The corners are so slow that just happens.
So, are we gonna have the 44 pull to the inside?
No. We'd only do single file restarts. It is only single file restarts with lap cars in between the top 10 waved around.
Is the 44 a lap down, or did they?
I think she is. Is she?
No. Tail end? Tail end.
Oh, wow, she is on the lead lap. Okay, I thought she was a lap down. They don't typically run into each other. That's the thing. I've messed with this track enough to know they don't really run into each other. It's just the fact that the corners are slow and tight here that that makes them kind of bunch up weird on the restarts. Or on the what do you call it? On the pacing laps.
Someone's checking up.
Yeah. Hey, that's the other
make
thing
this
at this track. This is such a short track and such a track. Aero doesn't really matter that much here. You can get away with a lot.
Hey, I'm wondering if we're gonna get another spin because the guys are bumping into each other because the 14 would check them up here coming to the start. Oh, that's gonna be a penalty close if they are not careful. Someone might get a penalty.
Green flag.
Check up. Ooh.
81 jumped to the inside of the 38 before the start-finish line. Again, that's not a penalty that she didn't complete the pass.
Yep.
She'll get the spot. There is going to be some cars, definitely, that do get penalties, though, just because it's kind of how it goes around here. We'll see who all it is. 93! Overman, playoff car. That's pretty big.
Since you lose 2 laps here, you're losing at least a lap on pit road. I suspect they'll go a lap down because the penalty, at least.
Probably about a lap down. I don't think it'll be any more.
Yeah, there they are doing their stop and... Oh!
Stop and
there's
go.
the stop
Yep,
and
it'll
go.
be 1 lap. As here we go, challenge for the lead. Here
Lap for
comes
lead.
Maya Sheldaby. Looks to the inside. Not gonna have the spot in turn number 3. But that 5 car is definitely looking like she has some sauce here. 38 has gotten back around the 81. Brenda Davis fighting with Jackie Kennedy. That's for 8th place. .14 goes a little wide, but only a little
Using
bit.
that to get the run. So we already have a couple cars a lap down because of a tip on that restart.
Yeah, and one of them is one of those drivers in that playoff mix, Izzy Oberman in the 93. But everybody's still running. And that's the other thing here. You just don't really crash hard enough to take yourself out of the race here.
Question is, does the 93 even have the speed to possibly try to race her way up through the field and maybe make up a lap?
Well, if she can get... Well, again, also the lucky dog is in play as well, so
Yeah.
she could just get the lucky dog if there's another yellow, which I feel like it's not an if, it's a when.
Yeah.
She's just gotta hope it's while she's the first car a lap down.
But I think she would hope they would be before the pit cycle, because that's when she goes 3. The first pit
Yes,
cycle.
but everyone will have to pit then, if there's a green flag pit
But
cycle.
yeah. She'd be like 2 laps. Yeah. Where is she right now?
There's the 93. She's kind of behind the 46. This is, well, the 46 is 14th place.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious to see if one of those cars that pitted that last time, the 64 was was the first car to come down pit road. I'm curious if they took 4 tires, how much of an effect that will have, because tires do have an effect here. Their tires are actually pretty useful here.
That'll be if they, yeah.
We're seeing the 93 kind of punch her way through some of the lead lap cars right now. At least try to. 5 car, I think, had a bit of a kind of screwed up a little bit there in turns 3 and 4. That's let the 38 close up just a bit. Again, that's the thing, is sometimes if you have, if you can exit a little bit higher, if you can run the bottom in the corners, but you can exit a little bit higher, that actually will gain you a fair bit of speed.
Yeah, 24 missed the corner there.
24 missed the corner, and she's going to get forced up high again. That actually also gained a position for Lynn Oswell in the 96.
Yeah. If anything, that 93 is showing some speed.
I think she's fast. She's just kind of in a bad position right now.
Yeah.
Naomi Davenport. There she is in 7th place. Again, she came in below the cut line. She came in, let's see, how many points below the cut line was she again? 5 points. So this is something that she needs to have. You see Katrin Edelstein in the 14 here. Again, she came in 21 up. Now, LaTanya Gray in the 65 car came in 10 points back. So she needs a good run.
But she was not one of the penalty cars, right?
No. It was just the 93 and 95. That was it.
Okay.
Oh, 6 car. Chestina is coming down pit road.
Is that a mechanical issue or?
I don't see why you'd pit. I don't see why you'd schedule a pit stop at lap 33, especially after we've had a yellow. So I would assume it's a mechanical issue. Liam?
Yeah, as the 6 car comes down pit road, they're reporting a tire down on that race car, so they've got to hit the pits and get that changed out.
Well, that sucks. Mila Chestina this weekend, actually, she's running in the Cup Series race as well. She's actually been contracted to take over the 42 car in the Cup Series for the remainder of this season. She put the 42 car on the outside pole in her first Cup Series attempt at qualifying.
So maybe just speaking that, maybe this is her getting her bad luck out the way.
Yeah, maybe.
Right.
I mean, she doesn't have really much to race for. She's pretty deep in the points. She missed the first chunk of the season because she was a late mid-season replacement.
Yeah.
2nd place. Here comes Fitzmaurice.
Yeah. That 38 is hooked up.
38 looks pretty fast right now.
78 is still just.
Meanwhile, the Project Horizon cars do not look very good right now. They're 34th and 35th. And Robin Morales does not need something like this, because remember, she came in just 1 point up on the cut line.
And to be honest, with how fast the lap down cars are, I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually in the last 2 positions.
I haven't. Yeah, that's right. The 6 car is in fact fighting for the owners' championship at the moment, actually. she's in that mix because, again, the Owners' Championship just uses a regular full season points format.
Yeah.
So this
She's
car,
gonna just probably try to finish. She's 2 laps down.
she's 2 down. Now, she can make that up. Again, this is actually a track where it's not terribly hard to make up time. Looks like she took 4 tires on that stop, but this is a track where it's not terribly hard to make up laps if you need to.
93 moving.
And 93 is still, you know, making positions right now. There's Bridget Brosseau, who's moving on LaTonya Gray. Again, these 2 cars both started back in the provisional territory.
Yeah. You know, a car that I would be talking to my crew to please fix? The 24. That car cannot hold the bottom at all. I've been seeing it just slide.
It definitely doesn't help that she keeps getting more and more cars that come up on her as she's stuck on the top, which means that it's even harder to get to the bottom.
It's like that car won't get to the bottom. Like it barely got there, but yeesh.
You know, LaTonya Gray's trying to make up some ground. There she's battling with Brosseau. There's where the 6 car is. Again, the 6 car has about 30 lap fresher tires than these cars, so I am curious to see how much of an effect that might have.
It's not currently showing a lot of pace.
Oh, 88 car got the wall. They're going to be
Oh,
3 wide into turn number 3. Okay, the 2 car backed out of it. Smart move by Ramos.
Yeah. I thought we were going to have another 3 wide situation there.
That's true. The owner points battle is very intriguing because there's 5 cars within a there's 4 cars within a race of the leader, and the 5th car is only a couple points outside of that. The 55, let me bring this up, but the 55, Deborah Williams, this 55 car is in the owner battle. The 10 car of McCarran, this car is in the OP battle. The 93, where's the 93? Who's a lap down. The 6, who's 2 laps down, and the 12 car. Those are all cars that are in the owner playoffs, or the owner playoffs. The owner points the owner points title.
And right now it's the 55 who's doing the best of those. Oh, piston! Someone did a piston in the cup.
That appears to be Moriyama. They've retired from the race.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
When the heck did that? Yeah, that's weird. Like we missed that. We missed that issue.
See if we can get more information about that. Let's see. That appears to be lap 40, so that's about 8 laps ago.
Okay.
Which is an eternity here. That's only like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Here's a battle for 10th. That's Ramos and Oswell.
Oh, I think the 95 got... Or is the 93 and 95 still... Yeah, they're right near each other.
Yes, these two are on the same... These two are on the same lap.
And they're showing speed. There's the fresh tires making that.
This is the fresh tires on Chestina's car.
Oh! There goes another error.
I don't think the 40... I don't think the 45 got the wall. I think she kind of slid up towards it. I don't think she got it, though. We have 3 cars kind of pretty close. Fitzmaurice has slowly been reeling that 14 car in. Liam.
Yeah, it was a piston issue for the 64. It just stopped working, and they've lost too much power. The team's taking it behind the wall, and they're going to be done early today.
Very unfortunate for Moriyama. She looked like she had such a good season going. Just missed the playoffs. And it's just kind of been all downhill throughout these playoffs now for that 64 car. Fourth.
Get a lead change.
Yeah, but it hasn't been for lack of trying.
Yeah, true. Also, yeah, that 6 is moving. Don't go too... Oh my god, I thought that 6 was going to be using the grass. Briefly there. felt low.
It's kind of interesting. We kind of have a bit of a... We have this group of 3 up here at the front, and then we have another group of 3 with the 81, 55, and 54, and then this is kind of a group of 2 with the 22 and 42. And then it's kind of just everybody all in one big blob back from that. It's gotten spread out at the front, but not really in the midfield. By the way, I'd like to point out Vinnie Schultz does have a little bit of... She has a pretty big push in on the side of that car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting her that much.
Remember, she's been in a couple of those early, like, wrecks.
Yeah.
From part of them. At least she's moving forward. She's got the car going forward, it looks like.
And another car driver who's got their car moving forward, that's Isabella Smith in the 15 car. Again, she was also involved in one of those early spins.
And, yeah, it looks like the 24 finally got to the inside.
Got to the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, but it kind of fell back to the field.
Cassidy Jones is back here.
The way we're seeing cars start to move forward, I guess the long run is starting to kick in for some of these cars.
Yeah, long run pace is going to be very, very crucial.
Whoa! Did you see the...
That was a crazy send by Kirkland there in the 54 car. And that's for position too. She took it. She was she was committed.
She wasn't on the brakes. She braked deep into that turn. Oh crap.
38 car is pretty close to the 14 now. This might be some
Here's
good...
the long run speed.
Yeah,
And they're going to catch the tail. And
yeah, lap cars may actually play a role in this as well here, too.
If the 54 gets the fourth, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next car to join them. Because that's the only car I've seen to do what it did that last lap. Or the, watch out for the 6. I just saw them get sideways coming out 4. Okay.
8th place here. That's a couple playoff drivers.
Yep.
Ramos and Von
And you
Lundqvist.
might just want to try to follow that 6 the best you can, because that 6 will make space for these playoff drivers to pass.
Fight for 5th again.
Yep.
55 taking it back from the 54.
Yeah. These
And
guys
Davin-
are 4
yeah, and-
seconds behind the leader.
Kirkland's gotten shuffled. Ooh, battle for second again. I think Fitzmaurice might have messed up the corner a little bit, and that let Shelby get to the inside. 5 car is going to take second. She's going to put pressure on Edelstein, but Edelstein so far has held pretty firm at the front.
Yeah, that clean air
Clean air, yeah.
thing.
But that won't be in the cards for very long because they're catching the tail end of the field here pretty soon.
Yeah. It does kind of amaze you how much faster that front 3 are, though. In the
Right
field
now, yeah. Hey, there's the 6.
Yep.
And again, fresh
Like I
tires
said,
here.
If you can, like I said, if you can follow the 6 through the field, that might be a good thing.
Again, I think what you should do, if you're one of these lead lap cars, just let the 6 go. Don't try to battle her.
And follow them. You can let her make the...
Let her make room for you if you can keep up.
Yep, there goes her by the 81. If anything, she's showing hitting short could help a little bit.
Well, that's the thing, is we're probably not going to see them go the full length on fuel here. You can go about 140 laps on fuel. No one is going to do that. If I had to guess, the latest we'll see cars come to pit road is about lap 120, maybe? I don't even know if they'll do that.
Yeah.
Because tires are so crucial here.
You know what's weird? That lap 30 pit stop for the flat tire might put the 6 on an interesting little strategy, depending how her team decides to split the remainder of the race.
38 car gets second back.
Yeah.
And again, the top 3 are pretty much within a second. It's not like these three behind the
Hello.
14. Oh yeah, and the 6 is closing in on these 3, but that actually could be the chance that Fitzmaurice needs. If Fitzmaurice can get through the 14, if the 6 forces the 14 up to the outside, that could be where the 38 makes that move. The 54 gets underneath the 55. 55 just got the wall just a bit.
Yep. And cannot keep the inside, so might be dealing with the 22 soon. Yep.
Yeah, here comes Davenport. 2 playoff cars, 4 position again.
Oh, 6 is there.
6 is closed up to these cars. Chishina getting underneath Shelby in the 5. Now, Chistina's won at a short track. She won back at Oswego just a couple weeks ago. That was a cut race for the playoff cars. And I think she had fallen a lap down at one point in that race, I think.
Yeah. That, Echo, that's why I'm wondering, did 6 get forced into a strategy that may work out?
That's very possible.
Yeah. Because right now she's looking like Superman right now.
Yeah, Izzy Oberman's making waves through as well.
But remember, those 2 don't have tires.
They don't have tires.
This is Ross.
Well, I think they do have tires, but I think they only have about 10 lap fresher tires.
Yeah. Oh, and there goes the 6.
6 by the 38. And now again, if I'm the 38, I'm going to try to stay with the 6 here. Let her force the 14 high.
Oh, what happened to the 38 on that corner? Oh,
Pitting. She's pitting. She's pitting.
Stops. This is probably smart. She probably saw the speed and went, I can't lose more time to the 6.
Justina now making the move to the inside of Edelstein. And now it's just 2 cars here at the front, so... Liam?
Yeah, it's not a scheduled pit stop at all for the 38 team. It was a fuel pump problem. Isabella Fitzmaurice, she reported that the fuel pressure was going down. They hit pit road. They're going to see if they can get it fixed, but it's going to be a long time of repairs for that team.
That's going to derail that strategy for her then.
Possibly the 14 closest competition. But the 5 seems to struggle more in the corners than the 14.
Kind of drifting back. The 55 has fallen all the way back to 10th spot.
Did the 38 drop out?
I don't believe so. Yeah, she's back on track.
Nope. Okay.
There she
How many
is.
laps down is the 38?
I believe just 1.
1. And just ahead of the 6. Now,
Although I think I may have to see if that's actually the case. No, it is just 1 lap down. Okay, so she may actually be okay.
Yeah, that might be an ideal pits window too. Now.
3rd spot has been taken by Rachel Ramos. And again, that's another thing we're going to see. Tire strategy is going to be very important because that's going to be where you it's going to be where it's going to be easiest to make moves is if you have tire strategy. If you have that right.
So vital. Yeah, there's the 95, and those 2 cars that have 10 lap fracture tires.
Yeah.
Are now moving forward.
And I think the 2 and 84 are also in that group as well. Because I know of about the back half of the field kind of came down pit road that time.
Where's the 64? Because that's the car that led the group down. I know that.
64 blew up. She's out of the race.
Oh, so that was the random car that...
Yes.
that we missed. Okay.
Don't worry, Liam got it for us, so it was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how about this? There's 3 Dark Horse Racing cars all in a row right here. That's Oswell, Gray, and Smith. See, I'd say perfect for a
They
photo op, but
should-
this is for 16th.
Yeah. Also, where is our leader? Because I'm pretty sure they've entered what the 6th recently went into.
They haven't. Not yet. Not yet, at least.
Yeah.
They'll
So right
probably
now,
get
yeah.
into it once the what do you call it? They'll probably get into the they'll probably start getting into it after the pit cycle if we get there under green.
Yeah, and right now, who is the first car one lap? Oh, it's right now 93.
It's the 95 actually. The 95 passed the 93. Because these two are at the same spot because they both got that restart penalty.
Yeah.
There's the 26 of Morales.
If,
And again,
If
this
I'm
is not a
correct,
good-looking run for this car. She needs to do
Yeah.
way better.
yeah. I think what she needs right now is a caution. I think the tires are gone hard.
I think so, yeah.
Where's the 6? Because it's the 6 and 38 are actually on the same lap right now.
Right here. I think the
And
6 is
38
behind.
just behind. Not.
But the 38's got the 38's got, like, really new tires now.
Yeah, but needs to get to the inside first. Because right now she's being challenged by the car with no rear end.
You don't need that here. There is a rear end there.
Yeah.
There is a rear end there, actually, if you look. You gotta look very carefully, but there is a rear end.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've just kind of scraped the wrap off of it somehow.
That's good though. Oh, bound for the lucky dog.
The 93 and 95. Whoa.
Oh.
What is the 93 on? Oh, caution. Caution. There was a spin somewhere. Well, I think it might have been the 60 of Wilson.
Yeah.
Who got the free pass?
This is-
The 95 did, apparently.
Oh boy.
The 26 and 60 did cross the line on the lead lap, so they will be... What?
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay, the 14's been forced to stay out there.
That might screw the 14 over.
That is gonna hurt. That is really gonna hurt the 14.
Yeah. These, if the 14 pits and these are... This is gonna be weird.
This is scheduled, so that is gonna... Alright, well, we'll see where it cycles out in terms of the... We're gonna see where it cycles out in terms of everyone else.
Remember when I said expect the unexpected before the Honda show started?
Absolutely. Ooh, 22 is gonna win the race out.
Good stop. Good stop.
Well, there's our first lead change of the day.
And yeah, there's the 14 coming down to pit road. Should be pitting now. Yeah, our first lead change because of 26.
26 doing whatever that was.
I will be very curious what the
All right,
chief is.
I want to
doing
show
right
you this. First of all, this was the battle. This was how close the free pass position was.
now. Let's hope that's the finish. That's how the finish looks.
Now, let me see if I can figure out what happens to bring out the yellow. Okay, it was
Was it?
clearly further ahead. There was somebody that spun. It's right here. Oh, it was here. Okay.
Oh.
No, it was the 60, and I just didn't.
No,
Go back
there
on
was
it.
a different car against. Oh, it was that.
The 60
car.
just
Okay.
had a bit of a lazy spin in front of the field and kept it going. Actually, that car is actually fine.
Yeah. But I think the bigger story is 26-14 teams.
The 95 is is the free pass car. The 60 and 20.
There's
Everybody.
the 14. Everybody pitted.
The 60 and 26, and everybody else who.
Oh! Okay.
Nah, it's fine.
Good job. Yep.
Now we're gonna keep it yellow. This will actually give them a good chance to.
Question is, will we get the? They will just take the yellow.
77 and 4 are tail end of the lead lap. I believe they stayed out. So they'll
They're
get
within
waived.
the top 10.
Well, they're wave around cars. We'll have another lap of yellow actually. So 22, 84, 54, 45, 81, 55, 12, 42.
Oh, you want to know why they got sort of
62,
like this?
66.
It's probably because of that extra lead lap hit because of the 26. The 26-14 fusion. I'm very curious what the teams of the 26 and 14 are talking about right now.
That is probably
it's
it, yeah.
anger. Yeah. So now the best car is.
Well, the best car we've seen so far, she's in 11th, so she's not
Oh,
tremendously
bad.
hurt by that. But
Yeah.
she's not in the lead. It's the 22 of Naomi Davenport who's in the lead. And again, no lock-on lead lap rules here. That's something we do at some places, but not here at Martinsville. Green flag.
What in the heck was that start there? Oh my god.
They got a little hairy. I think the
no.
14 was trying to go to the outside.
Yeah, then not get the penalty. I wonder.
Well,
I'm
you don't
wondering
get a
if-
penalty if it's to the outside. It's only to the inside.
Yeah.
Look at how far the 5 fell
Looks like
back.
we're good.
So Naomi Davenport now the leader. 2 wins already this year. She won at Kentucky and she won at IRP leading into the playoffs. Katrin Edelstein, whoa, as they go 3 wide here.
What? Yeah, there's the 6, by the way, who's back on the same tires as everyone now.
Yep. She is
that
1
car
lap
should be an
down.
interesting one.
Now the current free pass car is the 93. It's going to basically be between the 93 and the 6 for that. Assuming that where they are right now holds. The 22 went really wide in the corner. Tammy Bird's second.
Missed the corner.
Michaela Kirkland is third. 81,
Oh!
I believe, might have gotten that penalty.
I just took the lap for the trigger.
Probably. They are 3 wide here.
Uh-huh.
3 wide here. Ramirez bounced off Ableton Perez with Martel.
And they keep going.
And they keep going. I mean, if the 25 didn't have enough damage already, she's just going to take more, because why not, I guess.
Oh, by the way, who's near the 14?
The 26? Hey, how about that?
They have the caution, and the 93 is just ahead of them.
Yes.
So if you're in the 93, you got your closest competition nearby,
Yeah, and the 26.
and that 6 is fast. I'm actually noticing how good it's in traffic right now.
Now the 84 of Tammy Bird, her best finish of the season is third at Evergreen. Remember, she also led almost half the race at New Hampshire. She came pretty close to winning that race. That race had a very long green flag run.
This is a track. Yeah, this is a flat track like New Hampshire, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you say it's flat. The problem is that Martinsville always looks flat until you remember that it has 12 degrees of banking in the corner.
The banking, yeah.
But it does not look like that at all.
Yeah.
Top three have gotten away again a little bit, but it's a completely different top three than what we're used to seeing. How about Isabella Smith running 9th?
But like I said, I would keep an eye on the 14th, since they're not as deep in this field as I thought they would be.
She's trying to make moves, but she actually got shuffled a fair bit on that restart. She got kind of kicked back a little bit. She's making a move here for, I believe, that is 14th. She's trying to look to the inside of Kennedy there.
Oh.
Almost got to the inside, but just couldn't do it. Davenport's had the benefit of having that clean air right now.
Yeah. But they still need the pit.
Yeah, still at least one more stop.
Yeah, you know what's weird? If they do decide to go on tires, that pit stop comes late. Like, it won't even go-ish.
Well, I could see it more around 50 or 70 to go. It depends on whether it depends really where that final pit stop falls. Because if it's a caution flag stop, it's kind of anywhere really.
Yeah.
If it's a green flag stop, then it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. And with the way they got spread out and how we got that long run, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we went green for a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but also this is Martinsville. Whoa, 31.
But there's also that.
This is Martinsville. Anything could happen here.
Yep. We haven't rolled a car yet, but that can happen.
Well, I got that in, we had that in the cup practice yesterday. We had a car go upside down. We have the 81.
What the fuck?
Whoa, cool it
The
there.
81
Cool
just
it there with the language.
into the wall. Yeah, okay. My bad.
Now you're good.
Um,
We'll just have to
Did the
we'll just have to
81 get
apologize to
sent?
the FCC there.
yeah. What did the 81 get knocked into the wall, or by the 77, or did the 81 knock the 77 into the wall there?
81's not close to the 77, so I think the 77 just kind of got into it on her own there.
Yeah, I saw a car get like a tap.
The 81 and 77 aren't really close to each other, so I'm not sure. It might have been it was definitely the 77 who got in the wall, but I don't know if it was.
Well, I'm not sure who hit them.
Yeah, it might have been the 10.
So you said, which playoff car did you say needs to have a better run?
26.
Where are they right now?
Lap down. In 34th.
Okay. They look like they're a bit farther up, actually.
Yeah, but that's just because they're a
Just
lap
like
car
that.
in like the middle of everybody right now, so.
Yeah.
Now, the 5 cars that came in behind the cut line, I can give this a rundown here. But Sandy Martell, the 51 car, she's in 15th. Kathy Ableton Perez in the 25 is in 16th, we're directly behind her. Ani Starchev in the 66 is 7th.
Yeah.
Naomi Davenport is leading the race.
Dangerous.
And Latanya Gray is in 10th. And
You
those,
went over that pretty quickly. We're about to hit that halfway point. We're about 10 laps from it.
yeah. And the cars that came in under 10 points above the cut line, Robin Morales in that 26 was 1 point up on the cut line, and she's 34th a lap down right now, which is going to hurt her. Laura Sundale in the 40 is towards the back here as well. She's back. Actually, she's also a lap down. She's in 37th. She's only 2 points up. And Rachel Ramos in the 2, 7 points up coming in. She's actually running 8th right now.
Yeah. Also 3 wide.
Oof.
Ish.
Yoko tried to cut off the 62 there. Now, I am going to be honest here. LaTanya Gray, in a position of she has to make positions in a playoff cut line battle, is not a position I really want to see LaTanya Gray in.
Yeah.
Because I would be, well, I'd be fearing for my life, honestly.
She's known to be very aggressive.
Oh, absolutely.
She's just outside the top 10 now, because that was a...
Top 3 kind of gotten away.
You know the car, I'll be slightly worried with the aggression. The 54, and then the way she breaks late into some of these corners.
Yeah, the 54 has been very aggressive, and it looks like she may look like a... She's looking in the 84. Nope. I think these top 3 right now just want to save tires a little bit. You want to save your stuff right now. Because there's still a long time to go in this race.
Yep, and we could still get lap traffic.
Very likely will get lap traffic, because it does look like there is some cars kind of in the distance that they may end up reeling in fairly soon.
Including the 5.
The 5 is back here, and I'm not really sure what happened to her, but she's pretty well back. 78 of Lexi Rockwood is back here with her best friend in the 7, Faye Zanda, this week. Yeah, we have it on record that those two have been involved in at least 3 separate incidents involving the other.
Yeah.
Including the one that took Reina Munoz out of the car for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Shout out to the 25 being the Martinsville car. Being damaged in like top 15.
Yeah, she's 15. Hey, that's just typical Martinsville.
Martinsville. Yeah.
I think it was put best by someone I know as well when we were watching some NASCAR races here, and that this is just slow Talladega.
Yep. I can definitely see that. Oh, these two are just aggressive too. Schultz and
Gray.
Right.
No love lost between these two.
Yeah.
But hey, Vinnie Schultz having a pretty solid run. This is something she needed, especially after, her kind of pitiful run at Oregon, her home track there. Trying to make up ground she was trying to make up ground. She finished 2nd last week in Talladega. That was a great run for her.
It looks like the 65 might have burnt their tires up. Having trouble getting that inside to work. You know who's not moving forward? The 14.
14 has kind of really stalled out. She has not made up that much ground. And honestly, I'm not even sure the 14 had the fastest car at the start. Just had that clean air and just kind of didn't really have anybody.
Yeah. If anything, you could almost say the best car might be the 54.
Oh, we'll see who the best car is.
Halfway. By the way, we're past halfway.
We are. And yeah, Davenport's starting to pull away from the 84 and 54 now. Now there's Vinnie Schultz. She's moved up to 10th spot. She's on the back bumper of Isabella Smith. Those two made some contact earlier in the race, so... 54 was looking like she might have had a... Might take a look on the 84 there, but stays away from it. They're catching lap traffic.
Here we come. Except with no cars on fresher tires to help.
Yeah.
No one's on pit road yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anybody to be on pit road for a while here.
Yeah. It feels like we're having that long second stage, green flag second stage now.
Again, we kind of in that mid-race lull at the moment where it's just kind of nobody's really trying to do too much to mess things up here.
Besides the 25 moving forward.
Hey, Ableton Perez, she needs to run well here, so.
Right now, I think she's just glad to be still running.
Yeah, that car is actually running fairly competitively too, so.
Yeah. Was someone on pit road? I saw someone coming.
I don't see anybody. I could check. Nope.
They were so low. They were just so slow coming out of the pit exit, turn 2. I thought someone was
Exiting pit road.
Yeah.
It happens.
Also, the car's deciding they hit the grass a couple of times. I know that's happened.
By the way, Isabella Fitzmaurice, 32nd place. Now she's the second car off the lead lap right now.
Yeah, it needs to catch that 6.
42 kind of slipped up a little bit. There goes the 66 Ivani Starchev. And again, Starchev has come up pretty big in the races where she's needed to. She was pretty close to the cut line at Oswego and... Okay, I lied. She didn't come up big in that race. She was 37th in that race. But she's doing pretty well now when she needs to come up clutch. Again, she won on debut at Michigan. She's kind of just cruised her way through the playoffs a little bit, but this is where she's needed to step it up, and she is doing exactly that right now, running in 6th place. On track for just her 3rd top 10 of the year, her first since Memphis.
6 just not. That gave 51 a little bit of a chrome door.
Martel. Yeah.
And I think tempers are starting to show.
Well, we're past halfway, so this is when it starts to get a little bit interesting. And speaking of being past halfway, I think that means that it is time for us to take you down to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our mid-race report here from Martinsville. Just 2 yellows today so far. We'll see what Rashi and Liam have to say about the remainder of this race. What's up?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FanDuel Fan Studio as we're here for the mid-race report. Unfortunately for everyone, for the safety of everyone involved, Liam is still here in the studio with us. So we will wait eventually when someone inevitably flips or does something insane at this track. And on that note, Liam, what do you think of the racing so far?
I mean, the racing's been great. We've had a bunch of back-and-forth competition in the corners between drivers. We've seen some really aggressive dive bombs, and we've seen some really aggressive pit entries.
Yes.
So, as we look through towards the second half of this race, the aim of the game is basically just going to be to avoid cautions for the folks that are in the lead. Like, hope that a caution doesn't come out and nail your pit stop. And it looks like these top 3 have sort of been the class of the field since that last caution.
Yeah, and it's all the racing has been hard, but largely fair for most of the way. I mean, we only had a few cautions, and they've been for fairly small incidents. A few cars spinning about. Doesn't seem like anybody has damage that's really ended their hopes of contending. Only 1 car out of the race. That's 64 Miami Moriyama for an engine failure. But otherwise, everyone's still in it. Let's watch the 25 of Kathy Ableton Perez running 13th here, just below the cut line, and needs a good run. So let's take a look at the lead. Yeah, the leaders here, the top 3, duke it out past the traffic now. As we see Michaela Kirkland dive to the inside of Tammy Bird to take 2nd place away. Davenport obviously pulled back a bit. She had about a 2nd lead before she got all this traffic. It's kind of been halved, but she's done enough right now to hold off the challenge of the 54 and 84. And it's quite a long ways yet until we get to the next crop of cars here. This group of 4, the 55, 42, 66. Maya Shellaby with an impressive run, and Liz Roberts. I feel like we're always talking about one of the Ponos Racing cars in this race in any Continental Series race. Top 7 there, kind of in their own little pack. Then you have pretty much everyone else. Oh, the Zero Fiera Yoko's blowing up. That's another engine problem. That's both Hokkaido Velocity cars with engine trouble in this race, and 2 for 2 for the Hondas when it comes to engine problems today. I mean,
That's a Formula 1 engine.
That's true. I mean, the Honda engines have been a bit of a point of contention this season. We all remember how the season started with the North Star engines, and it seems to be that today, of all days, the Hondas aren't particularly great on the reliability front. Might be of a concern for the North Star cars, whose cars are running fairly well right now. I mean, the 2 and 22 are in the top 10. This 25 is just outside the top 10. The 51 is also following in. As I mentioned,
22's leading right now.
Yeah, and the 22 is leading. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Speaking of the leaders, I did want to point out. I believe the driver's not leading right now, but Michaela Kirkland has been sort of the lead car in terms of aggression today. She takes a dive bomb from the 5 car here. She has been. We've seen a few dive bombs out of her today. She's been not afraid to dive it to the inside of the lap traffic as well to get up. We saw her do it to take 3rd or 2nd place away. So if the 22 continues to struggle through this lap traffic, don't be surprised to see Kirkland move up to the lead.
Yeah.
22.
Oh, that's a big kerfuffle. 31 spun out across, and that's gonna give Kirkland the lead.
Kirkland steals the lead at the line.
At the line, that's gonna shuffle up the top 3 entirely.
We gotta start putting a sponsor on these halfway cautions.
We do.
Every single race.
That was a pretty big crash right there. That's gonna lead everyone else into pit lane now. That is going to help these drivers in terms of these teams planning for the rest of the race, though, is not gonna get a green flag cycle in all likelihood with 100 laps, just over 100 laps to go here.
5-7, I believe, they made it across the line before the leaders did. It's the 10 car, I believe, was the one that gets the lucky dog.
The lucky dog, yeah. That was kind of crucial. What in the world did Liz Roberts? Okay, Liz Roberts had a bit of a mess of a pit entry there. That's gonna be crucial. We'll see how these teams do on the pit stop. 10 car of McCarran gonna take the free pass here. We saw the 31 across the field basically at the start finish line. Doesn't look like there's gonna be much change at the front. It looks like the top 3 are gonna come out in that order, the order they came in.
We'll see if Robin Morales makes a safe pit entry this time.
I think she's already in. We'll have to
I believe
check.
she did, yeah.
Oh, careful. 10. Kirkland's trying to... not Kirkland. McCarran's trying to come into the pits. There's the 20... Well, fairly safe.
All things considered.
Fairly, yeah, relative to what happened. We need to see what happened here. Oh, that's Lynn Oswald. That's a playoff car right there. Yep, just turn the 31 around and right across the field. 4 gets a big whack. That's gonna be important. The 78. Lexi Rockwood plows it. Look at the 5 going through that.
And that kept her on the lead lap.
That's a driver who saw an opportunity to stay on the lead lap and took it. 4 is gonna come out with no front end. As they're piling their 3 wide out of pit lane for no apparent reason.
An absolute drag race leading the pits.
This race is kind of going a little bit towards the insane end there.
Yeah, never a wreck that 78 doesn't want to be a part of. Just like we mentioned how Martinsville is kind of like a Talladega, a super speedway, but much shorter. I mean,
we saw what happened to Lexi Rockwood at Daytona.
Yeah,
that might have been an all-time plow in any stock car series, really.
Drive through it, Cole.
I mean, yeah, that was some prime ARCA racing, ARCA Tira wreck avoidance there, but...
Reports coming in for the Zero's engine problem. That was a clutch issue on that race car, so 2nd engine issue, different part, but same result, going to be out of the race.
But yeah, it looks like the big loser in this one's gonna be the 4 car. Because Cassidy Jones is now no longer racing with a front end. I don't know if there's any other car. I don't think any cars are any cars out because of that. I don't think so. I mean, the 4, nope. Looks like just
Nobody
the 2
else out.
Hokkaido Velocity cars out of the race due to different powertrain issues. No wave arounds here, so we will be going green. Next lap here. Looks like a 54 of Michaela Kirkland, 84 of Tammy Bird, and 22 of Naomi Davenport in that order. Looks like
See if we can get a. We'll see if we can get a clean restart
look at
here.
the 25. 25 of Kathy Ableton Perez has actually snuck in. Oh, that's not clean. That is not clean. But
What's going on?
we've seen this a few times already, though. They tend to check
Green
into
flag is
and
in the air.
green flags in the air, and then 84 of
makes
Tammy
the best
Bird.
of that restart. She waits until turn 1 to dive to
Yeah,
the
she
inside.
didn't pass
lead
the
right away.
54, so I think that's a legal move.
That is a legal move.
And a very well-timed restart for the 84 of Tammy Bird will net her the lead. As things continue, we'll see if anybody has any penalties from that. Looking through the field, nobody on this end. I see 1 car in pit lane. That's the 62 of Vinny Schultz. That's a playoff car right there. 3 wide involving Lexi Rockwood and Cassidy Jones. I have to mention Lexi. No, Lexi's run into the wall.
Up into the wall they go.
Another bit of playoff drama, and the 93 again. That's another major blow for the 93, who came into this race above the cut line in 3rd place and has absolutely made a hash out of this
Comes
race.
Schultz.
Schultz just two laps down, I think. We'll have to check. I think she's just 2 laps down here, right behind the 84, or just 1 lap down. Just 1 lap down, so she executed that really well in terms of damage control. She's on nearly. She came out as the first car in the lead lap, right behind the leader. So, in terms of impact there, a 54 of Kirkland now starting to lose positions now. The 62 could have lost a lot more there. Only lost 1 lap in 1 position, and she can make that up fairly quickly. If she could.
I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet.
Yeah,
in
no.
terms of a potential caution situations. Everyone is still darting for position. around this
Kirkland trying to
race.
make up ground again. But yeah, Bird definitely caught Kirkland sleeping on that restart. Timed that restart to perfection, managed to jump out ahead of onto her inside and dive bomb her into turn 1. That's the kind of restart you want at Martinsville if you're starting in 2nd place here. And so far that's worked out really well. And well, Kirkland lost quite a few spots, but since then she's made up that spot, and the top 3 are, well, exactly where they were before again.
Oh, look at the 55.
55 and 42, yeah. Lots of playoff cars in the top 10 now. You see the 2 of Rachel Ramos, the 65 of LaTonya Gray, who I think is a lap down, actually. No, she's 9th, actually. I'm reading the timing screen wrong. And the 66 of Shelby also making her way. No? Is she a lap? No, she is. Oh, Starchiev, not Shelby, my bad. I've completely, sorry, I got mixed those drivers up. But Starchiev, that's another playoff driver who's also below the cut line there, so. Lots of drivers below the cut line making their way up. Lynn Oswell, who's just above the cut line, and 25 Ableton Perez, who's 2 points out as well. So lots of drama right now. And that's going to make
This
things.
does not fare well for Robin Morales, who sits 1 point
Yeah,
above the cut line, but is a lap down.
Not for
and at the
Morales,
back of it.
not for Sundale either, who's not really had a good run. Schultz right now maybe in that spot as well. She was 12 up on the cut line beforehand. With, let's see, 25 cars on the lead lap? Yeah, 25 cars with the addition of the 10, who is on the tail end of the lead lap here. Vinny Schultz sits 25th, first car 1 lap down. She wants a quick caution as this 45 and 42 there get into it a little bit. Racing definitely getting quite physical now. Cars are starting to really use the bumper. To the 42, they're giving a little shove to the 45. But the top 3 fairly calm here. The 84 of Tammy Bird using that 62 of Vinny Schultz as a bit of a screen against the other 2 cars in that top 3 who we've seen battle for the lead pretty much the entire for the last 100 laps or so, I think. But yeah, lots of dramatic playoff situations right now. 65 LaTonya Gray now moving starting to move backwards a little bit. He's on that outside line. He's mentioned in the pre-race show the freight train effect. That 65 is really feeling it right now. 14 of Edelstein is up next. The 65 is going to not quite, nope. Going to have to stay on the outside here. 14's working her way up a position. Martel in that 51 as well, waiting in the wings. Lots of playoff drivers running well, which is going to make things really interesting. Pretty much everyone below the cut line entering this race is running well, and even the 4 of Cassidy Jones, they're running without a front end, doing perfectly fine despite that. And with that, of course, lots to talk about, and I think lots to consider for our FanDuel Fan Pick segment here, Liam. Who do you think is going to win this race at Martinsville? There's a lot of drivers to choose from.
My pick, I mentioned her earlier in this segment. She's running 3rd right now, but we saw her steal the lead earlier at the caution. I'm going with the 54 of Michaela Kirkland. I believe that she's got the aggression and the drive to win this race today, and I wouldn't be shocked to see that 54 in victory lane.
Yeah, that 54, Michaela Kirkland's run fairly well in that 54 ever since she stepped into that ride, nearly won on her 2nd time out at Echo Energy International Speedway. But since then, the results have been fairly decent. And I'm going to go with our leader right now, Tammy Bird in the 84. That's another driver who stepped in mid-season to fill in a ride. Has a good run on a short track. Top 5 at Evergreen early on in her career here in the AWSCO Continental Series, and has run really well. And has run fairly well in this race since then. It's honestly might be a toss-up between any of the top 3 drivers here. But the 84 right now has the all-important track position advantage, and also a lap car standing in between her and the 22 for now. So I think that's going to be one of the main deciding factors, track position of ever important at this track. We saw how important it was for the 14 and the 22, and looks like it's going to be the case for the 84 now. Lots of racing left to go, but Tammy Bird putting herself in the best position possible to win this race at Martinsville. As we see there, the 22 bottled up a little bit behind the 62, but it's going to, for now, maintain position as... Any final thoughts on this race, Liam? Any final keys, perhaps, for the second half of the race before we throw things over back to the booth?
I mentioned the key to the start of the race was to save your aggression, and now is the time to let it out. We've gotten to that push and shove part of the race where every position is going to matter, every lap is going to matter. You're going to want to move. If you can move someone out of the way, do it, because you can deal with the consequences later. As long as you can get into a better points position, that's what matters the most.
Yeah. I will say, though, notably, the next race in the Continental season is at another short track at a Kern County Raceway Park. So, said consequence may come fairly soon, fairly quickly because of that. But regardless, yeah, right now with a lot of these drivers with the season on the line, it's definitely might be a do or die situation for a lot of these drivers, and definitely expecting the aggression to turn up here in this final stretch of the race. The Old Dominion 250 here at Martinsville, throwing you back to the booth now, where Echo and Data will commentate the rest of the race. Hope you enjoy the show here at Martinsville.
And Data, do you have a FanDuel fan pick here for the remainder of this race?
Pick the track, because I don't think we're done yet. with the chaos, because what the heck happened during that segment? That wreck was wild.
That's average for the mid-race report here. Well, then I'm going to go with the 22 of Naomi Davenport if you're not going to take anybody. So, Davenport...
I went with the 84 because they just seem to be so much faster than everybody right now.
I'm going to take the 22 Davenport. She looked like she had some good speed. She looked like she was able to pull away from the field a lot more than some of the other cars have been able to. Right now, she's just bottled up behind the 62, though. That's kind of hurting her. But I think Davenport has the speed to win the race.
Yeah. But shout out to the 25, though.
Hey, look at this car.
That car.
It's all beat up, and this car is in the running for at least a top 10. She could manage to get her way through. She could manage to push to just make her way through to the next round of the playoffs just by sheer willpower here.
Yeah. How about there's an air car of sheer willpower to 4?
Yeah, look at this car. Cassidy
Modified.
Jones. She's just trying to finish all the laps.
If she can get like a top 20, that wouldn't be bad.
Lexi Rockwood could also get a top 20. She's running 21st right now. She's actually challenging for that 20th position.
By the way, you say the top 10 is just outside the 25 chance? There it is.
Yeah, she's going for it right now, although I don't think she'll have it unless the 96 continues to run the high lane here. This is the kind of the thing, is I think the 22 would have a shot at running with the 84, but the way that the lap car exited the 62 kind of is messing that up right now. But funny enough, this is actually...
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
The 62 is running the same speed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like the... Yeah.
I mean, the other thing as well is this is kind of keeping everybody kind of bunched together. We're not seeing like 3 cars break away from the rest of the field like we were seeing in the past. Kind of everybody's all together right now, still running single file.
84 or 83.
Yeah, the 84's gotten away a little bit. That's really it. That's the only car that's kind of gotten away.
And hey, the 62, even though they haven't gone back on the lead lap, they're doing what they exactly, I think, right now kind of need to do to salvage what they can of their day.
Yeah, again, she's not running terribly. She's still 25th at the moment, so she comes in, let's see, she came in, I think, 12 points up on the cut line.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's where the aggression is. It's the 45 and 54.
Yeah, and the 54 got absolutely snookered on that restart. I thought she was going to run away with it after she got the lead there. And then the 84 just surprised her.
Yeah.
I think she caught her sleeping a little bit.
Yep.
I think they're going to catch lap traffic fairly soon here, though. So I could see, you know, the aggression may start picking up once they're in lap trap. The aggression could pick up for these lap cars once they're in with the leaders. The aggression could pick up back here once they realize it's starting to get late in the race.
Well, I'm wondering, this is still going to be a long run on those tires.
Yeah, assuming they don't pit again.
Yeah. I know the studio said they wouldn't pit, but...
I could see them coming down pit road again if it's a caution flag. I don't think they'll pit again under green. I could see it happening under yellow.
Unless they suddenly decide to pit around like 200 and like split it in half.
Maybe. There's a battle between Lulu Connie and LaTanya Gray, 15th place. It's going to be really dicey around that playoff cut line because I'm not sure who all is going to get through and who all isn't. It's going to be very, very close.
Yeah. The 25, like you said, is pretty much doing what she needs to do.
Yeah, same for the 66. I mean, everyone in the top, everyone that came in below the cut line is doing pretty much exactly what they needed to do. It's the 65 and 51 in the worst spots of those 5, and they're still in the top 15. Well, actually, they're just outside the top 15, excuse me.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem they're going to run into is the 62 actually having no challenges. she can't lose spots. She can't gain spots.
Well, she could lose spots, but it'd have to take a
Yeah.
lot for her to lose spots because the 60
lot.
is well back, and the 93 now is running 36th, and that could be. This could be that could be what that could potentially even knock Oberman out of the playoffs if she finishes in this position.
Yeah. She's still. Is she the first car lap down? Or
She's
is that
2 laps down.
6? Oh.
Because she got penalized again.
Oh, right, yeah. So, yeah, that pretty much nailed. Unless we get a caution. A couple quick cautions. She's in trouble. Ooh, 65 found the wall. Saw them running the
Oh, right.
line.
I was like, where's the 65? Oh, there she is.
Yeah. But yeah, literally the 62 is literally doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Maybe she can take advantage of the 84 when they catch the
Lap traffic, maybe.
ahead.
62 is the first car off the lead lap right now. But again, she did a good job to
Yeah.
stay just 1 lap down there.
Yeah, aggressive on pit lane.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to say it.
Lexi Rockwood in the 78 is 20th. And again, she's done a pretty solid job staying on the lead lap all day.
Yeah, she's
Tanya
been
Gray's-
nearly off the lead lap whenever we've seen her.
Yeah. Tanya Gray is in 19th position. And again, she probably with the way it is, that's a solid run by itself, but the problem is she needs to do better in comparison to the other playoff drivers that came in below the cut line. Because otherwise, she's not going to be ahead of them, and she has 4 other cars in front of her. Laura Sundale in the 40 car, she's 35th. This probably is going to be another car we're going to see be out of the playoffs after this race.
To be honest, she didn't show much speed early on.
She qualified well, qualified in second, and that is pretty much been it for that 40 car. Deborah Williams in the 55 came in 30 points to the good on the cut line, running in 7th spot. Didn't even need to have this good of a run, but hey, doesn't matter. 62 and 22 are starting to close in on the 84 right now. I think the 22 is faster on the long runs compared to the 84. Because it was almost a 2-second gap.
Yeah.
It was almost a 2-second gap not that long
Question is-
ago.
The question is, how aggressive will that 54 be near the end?
Freya von Lundquist sitting in 5th. Again, a good run for her in that points battle. She's looked like one. She was pretty much the early favorite to be a championship contender. And she's continuing that championship caliber run right now, despite the fact that she only has that 1 win. One of only 4 drivers this year to have qualified for every race.
Yeesh. Is the 84 a playoff car?
No. Not even. Well, you can tell by the playoff cars by the red spoiler and the red roof banner.
I guess then it's a good sign that for some playoff cars that it's the 84 leading and not someone else here.
Yeah. Some
Goes
weird.
by.
There's some real weird mixing going on back here because there's Bridget Brosseau back here. See Katrin Edelstein, Rachel Ramos, Kathy Ableton Perez. There's a lot of playoff drivers back in this grouping. And it's 1.2 seconds between the 84 and the 22. And I think the 22 is kind of being slowed up by that 62 in front of her.
This is reminding me of Hamlin and only it. Like the 84 just got into the lead and hasn't looked back.
96 is still looking on the 55 to maybe make a move going into turn number 3. This is 7th place. There's Rose Lockport fighting with Katrin Edelstein, 13th place. Lockport's still on the lead lap, actually, so 46 coming down pit road. Same for the 77. 60 as well. This might be
31.
scheduled. They might be going for us. They might be going for more. They might be going for tires again here.
Yeah,
That's too many cars coming in at once, I think, to be a coincidence. Yeah, Roberts is in. Here we go. We got a green flag cycle.
Look at the lap count. This is a low lap count.
They're pitting with 40 to go.
Yeah, they're pitting with 40 to go, but you're going to spend about, I think, a good fourth of this 2 laps down.
Well, that's assuming the 84 doesn't pit.
Yeah.
62, I believe, just came down pit road.
Yeah.
So that clears the way for the 22 if she's going to try to reel the 84 in.
But the question is she going to pit?
I think you got to at this point.
Way too many cars. I know. Hey, it looks like the studio was a bit wrong. We aren't getting green flag cycles.
I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think we were going to get one. Well, we did.
Yeah. Expect the unexpected. Oh, now we have a Vinny show. Show it's on fresh tires.
Fresh tires now, yeah.
That's gonna be an aggressive car.
Okay, none of the leaders is down pit road yet. The 45 was pretty much the only car in the top 5 that has opted to come in, and she was 5th.
But you know what I would watch out for? The lap cars are now moving chicanes.
The lead lap cars are now moving chicanes.
Yeah, the lead lap cars are now moving chicanes on the track. By the way, this is shooken up where some cars are in that back of the field. Yeah. How many cars are on the lead lap now?
13. Yeah, you gotta, if you're on new tires, you gotta be careful here. You cannot bring out a caution.
Yeah.
Because bringing out a caution would mess up a lot.
Who's 13th? Who is the last car?
It is Azelhart in the 16.
Okay.
Now that's the thing here, is if you're one of these playoff cars in that bubble race, do you take a chance?
Yeah. Or do you stay out now?
Do you take a chance staying out, or do you take a chance pitting? Like, I feel like either one of these is taking a chance.
I feel like you're right now. I think your bet is made. You stay too long, 2 laps down.
22 is closed up on the 84 very quickly, and again, that's what I thought would happen. I thought the 62 was holding up the 22, and look at that. She is closed up right there.
But here comes fresh tires, 55.
The 51 and the 55.
Yeah, this is going to shake up any moves that 22 wants to make.
Yeah, but keep in mind they're gonna make that same move to the 84.
Yep. But,
51's going to try to force her way by here.
yeah, here's the 22 shot, but it looks like the 84 actually timed that nicely. That getting past moment, getting nicely.
And the 84 kind of went to the outside. Couple more cars on fresh tires.
The 22, yeah, but now the 22.
Gonna let the
more fresh tires.
yeah, the 31 pushed through there. 60 is gonna push through here. The 10 is gonna push through. There's a lot of cars that are gonna try to move their way past the 84 now.
Yeah. Welcome to a race to be the slowest. Basically. This is gonna get a lot.
Again, one thing I'm noticing as well, the cars that are pit on the lead lap, they've only lost a lap on pit road. The 45 is only 1 lap down, so you don't actually lose that much time from pitting.
Okay, yeah. It's probably no. You know why? They didn't take fuel. This was just tires.
I feel like taking tires would be just as long anyways, even if you did take fuel.
Yeah. 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 So 1 lap. Now I do not want to be the guys out. I think they have more than. I think those guys have more than enough time.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of a split here in terms of strategy. This is kind of what we saw at Motegi in the Cup Series, where it was very much a race of, it was a final run that was just about a fuel cycle long. Some cars came in halfway through, some cars didn't. You know which car won? The car that came in halfway through.
Well, we're under 25 to go.
Yeah, this is a bit more interesting, though, I think. You're seeing, though, there's the 45. She is the first car off the lead lap right now.
Yeah. She needs to get past that 62.
And she'll do that.
Yeah. The question is 20 laps enough?
I don't know. I'm not sure it is.
Yeah. The 22 cannot get grip on the inside anymore.
Well, nobody can get grip right now. Unless you have tires.
And by the way, the 22 it's not just the 22 that we're chasing the 84. They're the very aggressive 54.
There's the 54. The 42 is in this mix as well.
And the 15 is, you can see them. And don't look now, that car with no front end has fresh tires.
Yep. Third place. Here comes Von Lundquist on Kirkland.
The battle for the lead is shaping up, too.
Yeah, but it's going to get messed up again. Every time the 22 gets close to the 84, there's a new car with fresh tires that kind of shoves her out of the way. Oh, but the 4 decided to take it 2-1. We may have the fight here. The 22 is closed up.
Yep, here we go. And here goes the 42. Here
comes Von Lundquist. Bird's running a bit of a low line. Bird's running a bit defensive here into turn 3.
Yeah.
And the top 5 all kind of bunched together.
Remember, it's 100 laps on tires. The guys that didn't pit. Oh God. You said like 70 laps is probably not.
70 laps is where I've seen them come in. That's been about the window I've seen before.
Yeah. So right now they're pushing unknown territory.
Yeah, pretty much. The 93 also pitted. '54 on the 42, third place.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna say not gonna get it, but the 54 really pushed it down into turn 3.
Yeah. You forget how aggressive that 54 is.
It's also late in the race. There's just 13 laps to go.
We're not sure where the winner will come from because, geez. Whose tail? Where is the 45?
Right here. Just getting by the 16 now.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be enough, but we'll see.
We'll see how slow these cars get. But we literally have the top 5, top...
The best thing that could happen
Yes.
for Roberts right now is a yellow.
Yeah. But we're also getting to that point where it get low.
Windows 11 to go. We have reached it.
Yeah.
Bird leads Davenport,
And the top-
Kirkland, Von Lundquist, Oswell, Smith, Starchev, Ramos, Connie, and Gray. That is your top 10. And now
Yeah,
the
pretty good.
93s,
Yeah.
93 and the 25 are both trying to move through. They're on fresh tires as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't think if you pit it, you're going to benefit too much. Unless the guys suddenly go, my tires are gone, I have to come to pit road. I cannot drive it, the car.
Well, the 93 and 25 aren't helping their case at all because they keep battling each other. The 22 kind of looks a bit off pace here. She's trying to hang on.
Yeah, the outside is having slight fire off speed because there's some fresh tire cars on it. Like they come off the corner with a little more speed, but it's just the leaders are just so slow right now. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, 3 wide. Just behind the leaders. It was nearly 3 wide. I saw them bouncing off each other. What the heck? Oh,
That was
a lane.
that was weird.
The line.
I don't know what they're doing.
You s-
They're
literally-
just
they-
getting all over the place here.
Yeah, you saw them literally dirt tracking it.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to not run over these lead lap cars because the lead lap cars are so much slower.
The 54, I think, is finally said, guys, go.
The 54 was trying to hold them up just to maybe try and see if she had a shot at battling them for the win. But she's got nothing now.
And it looks like the 22 is about to say the same thing.
I don't think the 22 is going to do that on purpose, though. Coming to 3 laps to go. Again, it's not going to be enough for any of these cars really to get to the leaders.
Yeah. There's
Now,
no way.
what's going to happen? They need to get if the 22 is going to have a shot, she's going to need these fresh tire cars to get under the 84.
Thinking her tires are too gone to even...
2 to go. Well, the 84 has gotten shuffled.
Yeah, but can the 22 keep the inside line? Because that's going to be the key portion here.
The white
There we
flag
go.
is out.
This
It's kind
12
of going to
is
depend
gonna
on
be
if the
the
84 gets
deciding.
shuffled to the outside, which she does. Now the 22 is going to have to close up. The 22 is going to have to hope the 84
Needs
gets
to send it.
continues to go to the outside. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not. It's going to be Tammy Bird with a great restart to snooker them. Bird wins at Martinsville.
Yeah.
And Lulu Connie finishes 9th. It's a top 10.
45 got 10.
Roberts
Call
just
that
got
kid
10th,
got
and
10th.
you know what? You know what's interesting? That knocked LaTanya Gray a position down. That could be all that it takes to knock her out.
Where? No, Latanya. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, LaTanya fell from 10th to 11th on the last lap.
Okay.
If there was like 10 more laps, I think the 45 could have done it.
Vinny gained 3 spots due to that
Yeah.
pit stop. By the way, that's where it's big.
Well, we're going to end up seeing...
Oh, huh.
Excuse me. Where's the thing? We're going to end up seeing where this cycles out for everybody playoff-wise. But regardless, what did you think of that race?
That was fun. That was a fun ending. Green flag pit cycle.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I was surprised by the strategy that a lot of those cars pulled. But you know what? It worked out for some of them, and it didn't work out for others.
Hey, if this race was 300 laps, maybe that might have paid off.
Yeah,
This was
and
much
it
longer.
you know, a very fun race. I thought there was really good racing all throughout. Maybe not great, maybe not a lot of battling for the lead per se, but still, I think it was a fun race. You had to really work for it, and
Yeah.
there was still a lot of good battling all throughout the field.
Yep.
Well, with
And
that,
some of the weirdest wrecks, too.
well, with that all being said, we're gonna have your playoff. We're gonna have who advanced, who didn't make it, a preview of the next round, and the studio's thoughts on this race as well. Following, well, a pretty interesting race here at Martinsville. Rasha and Liam, you two, take it away down there.
All right, and what a race that was here at Martinsville. Welcome back to the FanDuel Fan Studio here for the post-race show as Tammy Bird takes the win after an intriguing final run here at the Old Dominion 250. That split strategy between those two teams, between the two halves of the field, kind of really throwing interesting dynamic to the last part of the race. We thought that was going to be the last set of stops we were going to have when we had that caution on lap 149. But a few cars seemed to have different ideas. We saw about 10 to 15 cars, I want to say, coming in with about 40 to go. Actually, about 30 to go, I should say. I'm on lap 220 or so. Coming in, take fresh tires, and it almost worked for them. Almost worked for them. Liz Roberts ending up leading that pack of cars that came in. Almost ended up with a top 10 there, 9 seconds behind the leader. So definitely not a strategy built in vain. That was very. I think give them a few more laps, and yeah, they definitely would have had a shot at winning the race. Definitely made things intriguing, and that's also gonna throw a wrench into the playoff considerations as well. It looked more or less set in stone as we headed into those final 20 laps, but a lot of cars came in were playoff cars. A lot of cars that came in took out tires with 20 to go, with 30 to go. Those were playoff cars. Some below the cut line, some above the cut line. Kind of saw an even split between all those cars. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to look at here in the next round, but but outside of that, I think. What do you think of the racing? We had a few incidents here and there. Didn't really see any after the post race show, but yeah, after a mid race report. But otherwise, the racing itself quite good. We definitely enjoyed that last run, Liam. What did you think of that? Of the split strategy we saw? Definitely a few teams going bold and trying to take the initiative there.
I mean, yeah, we said it was going to be a strategy race with the tires, and it absolutely became one. The tire wear was the focal point of this race. 22, Davenport had a great run, finished second. That should be enough to propel her over the cut line. She came in below it.
Yeah, came 5 points below, finished second. Should be good enough to make the next round of the playoffs. You mentioned North Star coming in with 3 cars below the cut line. I think they're gonna have at least 2 cars. Rachel Ramos had a good enough run, I think, to keep her above the cut line. I don't think either one of Martel or Ableton Perez had a good enough run to make it above to surpass the.
Results are in. Your drivers eliminated: Latanya Gray, Sandy Martel, Laura Sundale, Robin Morales, and Kathy Ableton Perez.
The gap between 10th and 11th, just 1 point. Izzy Oberman needed every position to make that work. She makes it to the next round of the playoffs, but she does it in what might have been the most difficult way possible, taking two different penalties for jumping the restart, putting her 2 laps down, and then taking those tires at the end. That was honestly very shocking from the 93 team, but managed to get the job done. Points reset at the end of this round. So Izzy Oberman lives to fight another day, and she's going to be in the best spot once again with those 4 wins of hers.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great race. We saw that aggression really build up in that second half after the initial incident. We almost had another Lexi Rockwood short track incident. It wasn't with the KFC car, but it was another red and
She
white
ran around with the 7 all day long. I think everyone was expecting something to happen there, but nothing ended up happening. Nothing happened in the end.
Keep it clean that time.
Yeah, they kept it clean that time.
I mean, we got another short track coming up, so you never know.
Yeah, good runs for both Tammy Bird. Yeah, good runs for both Tammy Bird and Michaela Kirkland. Bird with the win. Kirkland with a 3rd place finish. Ran way up there the entire race. It kind of came down to the 3 cars we were talking about in the middle of the race, the ones that had been top 3 since about lap 50 or so. That was kind of it. Like, those 3 cars, Davenport, Bird, and Kirkland, were the top 3 for pretty much about 80% of the race, I want to say. Definitely the head and shoulders above the field.
Yeah, fastest lap ended up going to Freya von Lundquist in that 42 car. No surprise there. She's been fast all season.
Yeah, extra point just to build even more of an advantage in case something happened.
Yeah, she ends up being 2nd in final points in this round.
Yeah, 29 points up. Deborah Williams actually gained no ground on her. Went from 30 above. Well, actually, that's a lie. She actually gained. Did she gain? Did she go from 30 above to 30 above in this race? I think she did. Yes, she entered 30 above the cut line, exited 30 above the cut line. What a
Consistency is key here at AWSCO, and that is just a testament to it.
Yeah, Deborah Williams definitely looking like one of the main contenders for the championship. We'll see how things. We'll definitely have to see how things stack up with those final 3, those next 3 races. The 3rd round of the playoffs, the penultimate round of races, the final. The last 4 races of the playoffs is the last 4 races of the season, I should say. They're Curtin County Raceway, Atlanta, and Rockingham forming that 3rd round, and then hopes that, of course, the season finale, the winner take all top 5 showdown for the championship. And we'll see how this shakes the points up from the regular season perspective, of course. All drivers that fall out of the playoffs get reseeded back into their regular season positions. But otherwise, for the rest of the drivers, of course, Williams, Von Lundquist, Edelstein, Oswell, Ramos, Davenport, Schultz, Andy Starchev has had a good run. She kind of came in, on that, kind of burst out of the gates with that win at Michigan, but since then she only has 3 top 10s. She only has 3 top 10s since then, but her 3rd top 10 was in this race at Martinsville, so definitely picking up form at the right time. Finished 11th at Talladega as well, so 2 good top 15 results from the 66 team. We'll see what that team has in store for us golf racing. Of course, shutting down at the end of the season, but definitely not stopping the 66 team from giving it everything they've got. And yeah, with these three races coming up, lot of different challenges coming up. Kern County Raceway, of course, another short track coming up. That's our last short track of the season. Atlanta's going to be a big, kind of that in between Daytona and your Charlotte and Kansases of the world, where it's a big, fairly pack-driven race, but also one where the quote-unquote pack does tend to thin out over time. I'd say a slightly more aggressive version of Kansas is the way I describe Atlanta Motor Speedway nowadays. And then Rockingham, of course, the big tire strategy gambit, the race. It's all about tire strategy there at Rockingham. It's gonna be interesting. We saw a little bit of what to expect in that elimination race here at Martinsville with all the different tire strategies at the end there. That's gonna be all the rage at Rockingham to close out the final round of the third round of the playoffs.
That third round of the playoffs looking like one of the more diverse ones. Obviously, we've had a mix of tracks in a bunch of these rounds so far, but you're gonna have a short track, a speedway, and then Rockingham is its own beast. I mean, it's a unique racetrack.
Yeah, one of the most unique in the season in the championship, definitely.
Yeah, you got to be consistent across 3 racetracks to make that championship finale. So it'll be a really exciting round coming up.
Yeah, lots of racing to be had still, and of course, we're not done here yet at Martinsville. The Cup race is coming up as well. The Co-Pilot 500 at Martinsville. Lots of racing. We only had 250 laps at this. We already had 250 laps here in the Continental Series, but we're getting 500 laps at Martinsville, which will be an even bigger hornet's nest, I think, coming up in the Cup Series. That's also an elimination race. Lots to talk about there. Let me pull up the Cup standings actually, just to give ourselves a little bit of a primer into that race. I think one car has locked in. Yeah, Andrea Davison is locked into the next round in that championship, but things are similarly tight there. Not as tight as we saw in the Continental Series, but still lots of cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. 8 cars within 20 points in that kind of bubble range, and then you want to add, say, Yenfi Yanaga on top of that, who is 5th right now. So lots of cars in that bubble kind of zone as well in the Cup Series. So I think we'll see a lot of the same thing in the Cup Series race as we saw in the Continental Series race, with even more tire strategy likely to be thrown on top of that, with the 500 lap length, I should say, 250 miles approximately. If you ran 500 miles at Martinsville, it would genuinely take forever, I think.
It would be 1,000 laps.
It would be 1,000 laps, which 500 laps at Martinsville is enough.
Yes. Yeah, we had enough chaos tonight. We had enough chaos tonight with 125 miles. To double that is already enough.
Yeah.
To quadruple that, I don't think we'd have anybody finishing the race on the lead lap.
True. You also want to talk about what these Continental drivers form. Looking at kind of the form table, quote unquote. Obviously, Izzy Oatman had a rough few races. 29th at Talladega, 36th at Martinsville, but she's been clearly, I feel like, the best driver with 3 top 5s in that win, 4 top 10s, including that 8th at North Wilkesboro. Definitely, I think, the best performing driver so far in the playoffs. But then we mentioned Miss Points racer Freya von Lundqvist in this show a lot. She's finished in the top 20 in every single race in the playoffs, which I feel like just about sums up Freya von Lundqvist in a nutshell. 9th, 3rd, 10th, 19th, 14th, 5th. Consistency has been the name of the game for the 42 team, and with just 3 races to go, I think that's definitely another driver to look out for. Other drivers I'd look out for, Deborah Williams has been solid as ever. We mentioned von Lundqvist finishing in the top 20 in all of her races. Deborah Williams only has 1 finish outside the top 20. That was in the first race at North Wilkesboro. Otherwise, she's been right there with the best of them here in the playoffs. Looking at the 5 drivers that are going to start this round below the cut line, a lot more volatility there You look at someone like Vinny Schultz, for example. 21st, 29th, 26th in the first round. Really struggled in that first round. Kind of struggled in this round as well. 32nd, finished second at Talladega. That was the real banner result for that team. Good enough to put her past the mark to get to this round. Rachel Ramos has been in pretty good form. Started out terribly with 33rd and 35th place finishes, but as top 10s, worst finish of 21st since then. And then there's Lynn Oswell, who won at Pensacola needed that walk-off win at the last race of the regular season. Made it all the way here on decent consistency as well. Been pretty much a top 20 car the entire way as well. Finished fourth on that by staying out here in this race. There's a lot to talk about. And then Katrin Edelstein, of course, is another driver that I don't think you can count out. Has had good pace as well. Finished in the top 20 in all three races in this round. In this past round, the second round of the playoffs, with the first finish of 17th at Martinsville. You're definitely seeing the best of the best showing up here, and pretty close to, I think, the 10 best drivers in the series right now on form as well. I think is showing up in this last showing up to this last 4 races of the season with a shot at the championship, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, this final round leading into the championship is such a mixed bag. It could really be anybody's race to win. Consistency obviously going to matter. So those two drivers, the 55-42, are two of the drivers I sort of expect to make the championship round. But there are a lot of drivers.
You never know. Yeah, things change
with
a
these
lot
playoff
here.
systems. You can expect anybody to make the championship round, and that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So it'll be an interesting 3 weeks heading forward. And I'm excited to see who ends up making the championship.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of possibilities for the championship 5 here. And with that, I think we've covered just about everything we want to cover here in the post-race show. Congratulations once again to Tammy Bird on that victory, and Uberman Enterprises as well, the team on that. And with that, we'll throw things back to Echo now, where she'll close off the race, close off the broadcast for everyone. Thank you for being with us here at ESN for coverage of the AWSCO Continental Series race at Martinsville Speedway. I have been Russia, and thank you for joining me here in the studio, Liam. And we bid you farewell here from the FanDuel Fan Studio.
Yeah, and a real exciting race here from Martinsville tonight. Now tomorrow we've got even more racing action. It's the Co-Pilot 500 for the Windows Cup Series tomorrow night. That's going to be a really fun race, and I hope that you will all enjoy that one, because if you enjoyed this race, you're going to love tomorrow night's race even more. All right, on behalf of Data, Rasha, and Liam, I'm Echo. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here at Martinsville.